hip throw, the leg throw, and then the hand throw where you use your leg, right? But we did those 3 throws, and they all can go to that pin. My favorite throw I did in competition is a throw called Ukiwaza. It can go to castle, right? As a throw, I landed more than 20 times against a resisting person in a competition, right? So again, it's just like that, what I was saying earlier, find a throw that works for you and ride it to infinity. I've gotten bored with so many submissions or techniques just because I've been doing this for 15 years, but like competitors, don't get bored with it. Go submit everybody with it in the whole world before you get bored with it. Because if you don't have that kind of competition mindset, you just, oh, rolling toe hold, that was my thing last month. You know, this next year I'm gonna find something new. You just kind of, literally, there's a move that I hit on every black belt I knew that I ever rolled with. Just every time I rolled, just nobody ever taught me. I started doing it from 7 different spots. And then I was like, oh, I'm bored with this. It's not gratifying. But here's the thing, you do this for 15 years, usually submissions aren't gratifying. It's really the stuff I'm talking about that everybody's like, oh, I didn't see that. That's the gratifying stuff, that you can continue to learn new things about things you've always known 15 years ago, okay? So let's go ahead and start working on, like, okay, that's the perspective. Like, what if you fought a judo person at a tournament, right? Like, that stuff would help you just from like, oh, they're trying to do some of that to me, right? Same thing is like, I think you guys are competing in Oklahoma last weekend, was that? Yeah. They wrestle over there. Man, do they wrestle over there. Like, the first black belt I ever competed against in Oklahoma, Tulsa Nationals, was a black belt in jiu-jitsu also, and he wrestled in college. And I was a brown belt at the time. I was the only person in the no-gi division. And I was just like, man, this guy's a jiu-jitsu black belt and he's a wrestler. Like, these are combinations of things that will strike fear into the heart of people, right? But also, it's a lack of education that makes you respect that. I think respecting it is a way better way of looking at it, right? It's like, yeah, he's a wrestler. So you're going to go out and try and wrestle him, right? And if you do, like, are you going to be defensive? Are you going to counter him? Like, what's your strategy going to be? So, like, just take some of those lessons from the stand-up and try and add them in across the board. You don't have to go out and try and throw a judo person. But also don't just resort to pulling guard because you can't, whatever. I've thrown tons of wrestlers. I've hit doubles in tournaments. I've hit singles in tournaments. And I never wrestled in high school, right? But also, everybody has reverence to these people that wrestle or whatever. It's like, I've been doing double leg takedowns for 15 years, right? Most wrestlers I know weren't in a wrestling ring that long.